Hello, my name is Michael Emery. This video is designed to accompany the Reclaim Your Life from Posttraumatic Stress app. Before I share some insightful information about trauma and recovery, I feel it important to point out that I'm not a medical doctor or a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist. If you have been diagnosed with PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, I recommend that you speak with a licensed professional before you use this program. That said, I believe that you are the first and foremost medical authority of your life, and your well-being is your responsibility. If you don't agree that your well-being is your responsibility, then it's highly unlikely that this program will have the beneficial effect you are seeking in your life, because it's going to require that you change the way that you perceive information and also how you react to past events. I believe that the answer to healing traumatic symptoms is found in our physiology and learning how to discharge the energy created during traumatic events. Let's go ahead and define post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic stress is a severe anxiety response that develops after exposure to any psychologically traumatizing event. A psychologically traumatizing event might include the threat of death to yourself or to someone else, or something that threatens physical, sexual, emotional, and psychological well-being. Symptoms of PTSD might include the re-experiencing of that original trauma through flashbacks or nightmares, the avoidance of stimuli that are associated with that trauma, and heightened states of arousal such as sleeplessness, anxiety, fear, anger, and hypervigilance. There are two major components to the Reclaim Your Life audio program. First, the listener will be safely guided back to the traumatic event using a dissociative NLP technique that's also referred to as the phobia cure. This approach is very effective for diminishing, if not completely turning off, the emotional components of a memory. And in doing so, the listener is empowered to perceive that old situation from a new dissociated position. The second component of this program involves the themes of self-acceptance and forgiveness, and this is experienced by the listener in an optional guided imagery segment. And I believe, while optional, might have the biggest impact upon the individual's life. Dr. Peter Levine, author of Waking the Tiger, Healing Trauma, writes the following. The key to healing traumatic symptoms in humans is in our physiology. When faced with what is perceived as inescapable or overwhelming threat, humans and animals both use the immobility response. The important thing to understand about this function is that it is involuntary. This simply means that the physiological mechanism governing this response resides in the primitive, instinctual parts of our brains and nervous system and is not under our conscious control. That is why I feel that the study of wild animal behavior is essential to the understanding and healing of human trauma. The involuntary and instinctual portions of the human brain and nervous system are virtually identical to those of other mammals and even reptiles. Our brain, often called the triune brain, consists of three integral systems. The three parts are commonly known as the reptilian brain, instinctual, the mammalian or limbic brain, emotional, and the human brain or neocortex, rational. Since the parts of the brain that are activated by a perceived life-threatening situation are the parts we share with animals, much can be learned by studying how certain animals, like the impala, avoid traumatization. To take this one step further, I believe that the key to healing traumatic symptoms in humans lies in our being able to mirror the fluid adaptation of wild animals as they shake out and pass through the immobility response and become fully mobile and functional again. Traumatic symptoms are not caused by the triggering event itself. They stem from the frozen residue of energy that has not been resolved and discharged. This residue remains trapped in the nervous system where it can wreak havoc on our bodies and spirits. The long-term, alarming, debilitating, and often bizarre symptoms of PTSD develop when we cannot complete the process of moving in, through, and out of the immobility or freezing state. However, we can thaw by initiating and encouraging our innate drive to return to a state of dynamic equilibrium. Let's cut to the chase. The energy in our young impala's nervous system as it flees from the pursuing cheetah is charged at 70 miles an hour. The moment the cheetah takes its final lunge, the impala collapses. From the outside, it looks motionless and appears to be dead, but inside, its nervous system is still supercharged at 70 miles an hour. Though it has come to a dead stop, what is now taking place in the impala's body is similar to what occurs in your car if you floor the accelerator and stomp on the brake simultaneously. The difference between the inner racing of the nervous system, the engine, and the outer immobility, the brake, of the body creates a powerful turbulence inside the body similar to a tornado. A threatened human, or impala, must discharge all the energy mobilized to negotiate that threat, or it will become a victim of trauma. This residual energy does not simply go away. It persists in the body and often forces the formation of a wide variety of symptoms. For example, anxiety, depression, and psychosomatic and behavioral problems. These symptoms are the organism's way of containing or corralling the undischarged residual energy. Many war veterans and victims of rape know this scenario only too well. They may spend months or even years talking about their experiences, reliving them, expressing their anger, fear, and sorrow, but without passing through the primitive immobility responses and releasing the residual energy, they will often remain stuck in the traumatic maze and continue to experience distress. Fortunately, the same immense energies that create the symptoms of trauma, when properly engaged and mobilized, can transform the trauma and propel us into new heights of healing, mastery, and even wisdom. I believe that you are in control of the way that you perceive and experience, and only by changing the submodalities or the finer distinctions of the way that you remember and experience that event can you change the way your nervous system responds to that memory. The Reclaim Your Life program will give you the tools and resources you need to take control of your future and leave your past behind you. You can be well. Trust the process and be amazing.